Hello, hello, and welcome to James Leslie's Expressing, where we get you out as fast as possible. Bringing you something a little different. Bigfoot, Yeti, Sasquatch, Swamp Ape. Now, many theories behind this mysterious creature, this cryptozoology fascinating subject. Described as you can see here, an ape-like creature that walks upright, roughly 9 to 10 feet tall. Been seen as the Yeti is more the Himalaya areas, and then obviously Great Northwest. You have the Sasquatch sightings down in like Louisiana, Florida area. You get the swamp ape. Arose by any other name, mysterious creature by any other name would still be 9 feet tall, ape-like creature. Now, of course, the best estimates, not real. Probably not anyways. But, ivory-billed woodpecker. We know it exists. It went extinct, and then we got several photos of it recently. The past like 5-6 years, we've gotten photos and videos of them. So they didn't go extinct. They just were on the extinction list for how many decades? And oh hey, it turns out they're not extinct. Huh. How come no one saw them for decades? The coelacanth. A fish. Obviously, a bit easier to hide in the ocean than it is on land. But still, a fish. It went extinct millions of years ago. Nope. Still exists. And they go to Madagascar, they're constantly finding new animals. South America, they go deep into the jungles, they find new animals. So what's to say that this isn't hidden away? This isn't a picture of Bigfoot? Huh? Oh! Gigantopithecus. A real creature. That's right. Gigantopithecus blacki. BLCKI. It's a real creature that's 9 to 10 feet tall. That lived in the Himalaya areas. And went extinct around the same time as the Bering Land Bridge opened up. Huh. Could have possibly migrated along with man across the Bering Land Bridge. Bering Strait Land Bridge thingamajig. And to, Canada. Pacific Northwest, where Bigfoot and Sasquatch are spotted. Huh, interesting that we have an animal that matches exactly the description of Bigfoot. Like, that is Bigfoot. If you saw that, you go, oh, it's Bigfoot. It's like, no, it's Gigantopithecus blacki, not Bigfoot. Right there. Bigfoot. Nope, it's Gigantopithecus. So, my theory, either A, some very few were left. Of course, it's just like sightings of anything. Like, oh, I saw Michael Jackson here. Back when he was still alive, I was like, no, it wasn't Michael Jackson. It was just someone else. Even though Michael Jackson's a real person. He's a real thing. Well, it was. But then you still get false reports of him being spotted places. Either A, misidentification, or someone looking for publicity. So, who knows? Maybe late 1700s, early 1800s, settlers are showing up. They see these things. They tell their kids, like, oh, hey, yeah, I was out hunting. I saw this giant man-shaped beast. Eventually, they all get killed off, but we still remember the stories. We still have the tales. We still have the footprints and whatever. Now, people will say there's been no fossils or anything like that of Gigantopithecus blacki found in the New World. Guess what? All the Gigantopithecus blacki fossils found where we know they lived would fit in a suitcase. We found very few fragment pieces of this species. But the few we found would fit into a suitcase. So and also, no one's ever looked for it. How do you find something if you're not looking for it, right? If you don't look for Gigantopithecus blacki evidence in North America, how are you going to find it? It's just weird that we have this creature right here. A real thing that actually exists, we know existed. It matches exactly what a Yeti / Sasquatch / Bigfoot / Swamp Ape looked like. In fact, there's so few pieces found that we can't even know if it walked upright or not. What we have is like, yeah, it probably walked upright, but we would need more of the hip bone, we need more of the spine, we would need more pieces to prove one way or the other if it walked upright or not. Or it could walk like a gorilla on its knuckles and all that. But we don't know because we don't have enough fossil pieces of Gigantopithecus to test, to be able to scan and figure out. Like, man, when I was younger and first learning about stuff like this, like, oh, that's really cool, that's really cool, oh, cool, cool, cool. But then it's like on the fence, it's real, and it's like, oh, that exists. May not have existed for 10,000 years, 8,000 years. But again, they found fossils of woolly mammoths that prove that they were still alive when the pyramids were being built. Like, the last woolly mammoth was like, oh, they went extinct 10,000 years ago, 8,000 years ago. It's like, oh, actually, we found some fossils that show that some were alive as recently as 4,000 years ago. So as recently as 4,000 years ago, there's still woolly mammoths walking the earth. So how do we know 500 years ago, they still weren't walking the earth, just very small clusters, and then when the white man showed up, wiped them out in the 1700s, 1800s. It's just weird to think that it's like, oh, you saw Bigfoot, oh, you're crazy. Finding Bigfoot on Animal Planet, whatever, oh, that's a bunch of crazy people. Call it finding Gigantopithecus. Be like, huh? Did you describe the monster? Oh, you mean Bigfoot? No, no, no. Gigantopithecus. This. Real thing. Looking for evidence of it in the New World. Trying to find bones, trying to find teeth, markings, anything that would prove that they went across the Bering Land Bridge into the New World. That'd be a show. They'll never do it because no one's ever heard of Gigantopithecus. You're asking 1,000 people, Gigantopithecus, what is it? Is that a Pokemon? Probably wouldn't be wrong, but since there's so many of them now, but yeah, it's just we have creatures like this that have existed, we know existed, that match exact descriptions of mythological creatures. When I saw like the description of a giraffe versus the description of a unicorn. What's a unicorn? Horse with a horn on its head. Oh, it's totally mythical. It doesn't exist. Oh, well, here's a creature with a 12-foot neck. Looks like a leopard and a horse. Had sex and gave out birth to this with a 12-foot neck. And whoa, 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 what? Oh, it has a prehensile tongue that's like 3 feet long. It's like, whoa, dude, stop coming up with this BS. All right, oh, the giraffe is real, huh? But the horse with a horn on its head isn't. So yeah, so you hear descriptions of, say, that. Don't immediately think Bigfoot. Think Gigantopithecus black eye. I'm guessing that was the last name or whatever, the person who found him. But I mean, just look at that. That is Bigfoot. No, it's Gigantopithecus. Bigfoot. Actually, that is a Gigantopithecus. I think that was that. Is that the one that's at the Smithsonian or has been at the Smithsonian? The Smithsonian's had stuff like this before. If you were to show people this picture, oh, that's a Bigfoot. Show them this picture without the writing at the bottom, that's a Bigfoot. Nope, it's an actual species that actually existed. It's just weird to think that. Now, the Bigfoot, Gigantopithecus, I mean, it's actually been around for a few years now. And, oh, here's another thing. What if they are two different things? Well, Bigfoot and Gigantopithecus black eye are two different things. But much like chimpanzees and gorillas are two different things. They're both great apes. They're just two different lines of the great ape family. But since, as of right now, we found no fossils of anything else like that, we only have genus Gigantopithecus. But it could be another offshoot of some giant Asian wood ape. Perhaps a line from which we have 0 fossils remains at the present time. Dinosaurs. Obviously, people came across the fossils before, but thought they were dragons or something. For who knows how many centuries. And they're finally like, oh, hey, Tyrannosaurus rex, that's a real thing. Brachiosaurus, that's a real thing. Like, how many times were these fossils discovered? That's fake. Okay, Jeremiah, yep, that's fake. Like, no. These are real things. We just didn't know they existed until we found the fossils. Gigantopithecus is an important reference point for Bigfoot because, well, it illustrates that we did have large primates. We had gigantic primates that walked around along with man. Like, modern man lived at the same time as Gigantopithecus, most likely. And it's twice as large as gorillas are today. And the fact that so few remains of the Gigantopithecus have been unearthed and identified makes it even more conceivable that there could have been other lines of giant Asian wood apes, for which we have no fossil remains at the present time. It's just, it's just weird. Like, no research group has ever made an attempt to look for this creature in North America. So no one should be surprised that, oh, we found no remains in North America. And it's like the most vocal people who speak out against, oh, there would be no, Gigantopithecus could not have crossed the Bering Land Bridge. Why? Because we said so. Yeah, screw you guys. These are the last people to ever make an effort to look for evidence of this Gigantopithecus in the New World. And of course, some people suggest that we have found remains of Gigantopithecus in the New World, but disregarded, misidentified. Because again, like, this is... Hey, Google, when was the Gigantopithecus discovered?
On the website phys.org, they say, the examined teeth came from China and Thailand, among them the first record of Gigantopithecus, which was discovered by paleoanthropologist Gustav Heinrich Ralph von Koenigswald in 1935 among a collection of fossils from a Chinese pharmacy.
1935. The first fossilized discovery of this species was in 1935, and we haven't found many more since. Again, it would fit in a suitcase, all the remains that we have found. But we know they existed. And yet, people see that, or that, and they go, Bigfoot. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. It's just weird to think that we have this creature, we have this right here. Again, it may have gone extinct 10,000 years ago, and this is just a bunch of BS, misidentified bears. Or it could have gone out at the same time as woolly mammoths, 4,000 years ago, 2,000 years ago, 1,000 years ago. Could have gone extinct 300 years ago. Or it could still be walking around today, just very small, isolated clusters. Because again, we do find animals like that. We do find like, oh, hey, that went extinct 800 years ago. But then we just found a breeding pair. They may be the last breeding pair on Earth, but we found them. So who knows? What do you guys think? As always, tell me in the description box down below because like, subscribe, comment down below, and have a wonderful day.